Hi there, welcome to Money Space 101. I'm Angelina Senoge, and this side we are building generational wealth together. If you're here for the very first time, you are welcome, and I hope that you're here to stay. So if you are on the business of trying to make your financial goals a reality, then you are at the right place. Please stick along. So as you see the title of the video, it is basically me sharing the top 10 investments in South Africa that will give you dividends. So you might have started your investment journey and we're hearing people talking about dividends, but what is this and where can I get this, or what investments give dividends, So I'm here to tell you all the secrets, okay? Because I don't believe in gatekeeping. But before that, if you're interested in following me on social media platforms, being Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, then you can find me at the Money Space 101. So there you'll find my reels and some posts that will keep you more engaged, as well as they are shorter and but fun there and there. Let us get into the video. So first things first is, what are dividends? Right, so as some of you might know, that there is two ways of you gaining profit from your investments. The first way being, let's say for instance, you bought a company share today for 25 Rand and then you sell it tomorrow for 50 Rand. So this means that you have made then a profit of 100%. So this is the first way of gaining profits. And the second way is through dividends. So dividends, I'd rather refer to it as sort of like an income than it being a profit, because it is something that you will get on a consistent basis. Dividends is basically when the company decides to share their profits with their investors, being you. So for instance, they will say that they are giving 1 Rand per share that you own, or they are giving 2 Rand per share that you own. So basically this means that the more shares you own in that particular investment, the more dividends you are expected to receive. So the nice thing about dividends is that it is not once-off thing, just like you buying something today and selling it tomorrow. That is once-off. So with dividends, as long as you are holding on to the investment, whether it is doing well or it is not doing so great, you are still going to get your dividends. For some investments, the dividends, you might receive them on a quarterly basis, which is 4 times a year, or you might receive it on a semi-annual basis, which is twice a year, or it might be once a year. And then on special cases, you might receive what you call a special dividend. So this is when a company then would decide to give out dividends once in a while. Maybe they just so happen to make a really huge bonus and like, no, let's just share with our investors. But then in most cases, they do give it out on a regular basis. And the ones that I'll be mentioning in this video are ones that are given out on a regular basis. For the purpose of this video, I'll be focusing on ETFs. ETFs is basically a basket that contains shares inside. So instead of you buying one particular share, you are then basically going to buy this one basket, and in this basket there is different shares. So I'm just going to make an example with one ETF. So for example, let's take for instance the one that is popular and the one that is said to be one of the well-performing ones in South Africa, which is called the STX40, which stands for SATRIX 40. So you might be wondering, what is 40? What does that stand for? That basically stands for the top 40 performing companies all in one basket, right? So by performing, they measured it according to their market cap. So market cap, it determines how large is the company. So then all these top 40 companies, then they are put into one basket. So when you invest into this ETF named the SATRIX 40, you are investing in all these companies as a collective. Technically, people that are beginner investors, or that are basically trying to figure things out and don't want to necessarily be too risky or want to move away from the headache part of investments, they usually start with ETFs. Honestly speaking, I've been investing for a long time now, but I'm still an investor. I don't want a headache, so I'm definitely an ETF girling. Yes, I do invest into separate shares, individual stocks, but ETFs are a need, okay? So I also invest in ETFs. So then with ETFs, then you will also get a popular ETF on a lower perspective, which is called SATRIX 500. So SATRIX 500, which is basically tracking the S&P 500, which is the US ETF. It is basically then the top 500 companies in the US in one basket. So the reason why beginner investors go for ETFs is because it is deemed to protect you from risk. And by this I mean, let's say for instance you are buying this one basket, right? And in this basket there's 500 companies, and one company or two companies are not doing well. just because these two companies are not doing well, it's not necessarily then going to lead you to losing all your money the next day or the next week or whatever, because your investment is not just being carried by these two companies, but it is being carried by all these 500 companies as a collective. So that way then you are balancing out the risk, or you are spreading out the risk, compared to when you just buy one company and that company might just become obsolete the following day, right? So that's a topic for another day as to how to choose the right shares. But for this video, I'm talking about ETFs. That is basically the benefit when coming to ETFs, is that you get to spread out the risk, and in that way you are diversifying your portfolio. And it is also a nice way of being like, I have shares in these companies, but I have them in a collective in one basket, if you get what I mean. Going into the whole purpose of this video, I'm going to be listing the top 10 dividend paying ETFs. You will get that companies, they pay dividends, right? Companies are the ones that pay out dividends. But then because you are buying this ETF, which has companies in it, you then find that these companies as a collective, then there will be some sort of dividends that are getting paid out to you as an investor. So you don't only get exposed to dividends through buying individual company stocks, but you also get exposed to dividends when you buy ETFs. So I'm going to be naming the top 10 dividends, and by top 10 I mean that these are the dividends that basically offer the highest per share that you own in them to the lowest ones, right? So there's many more obviously, but I'm going to be naming the top 10. So I'm just going to be listing these. You can in your own time then just go look through them. First one being SYG UK. The second one being SYGT 40. I hope that you're writing or you're taking screenshots. The third one being STX 40. I just talked about it. The fourth one being SCPROP, SCPROP. And then the fifth one being STXIND. And then the next one being STXPRO. And the next one being SYGCN. And the next one being SYGESG, and the next one being STXIFR. So those are the top 10 dividend paying ETFs. So the platform that I am currently using, it is basically Brokstock. So one thing I like about Brokstock is the fact that it is literally a one-stop platform for everything. So if you can even watch my previous videos where I have talked about it, when I talk about my investments, and where I actually show how you can navigate through it. So literally on their platform, you will find a section that tells you the news of the particular investment that you want to make, so that when you're making that investment, you're not making just because you saw someone else do it, but you also sort of like informing yourself of what's currently going on in the markets and how what's going on in the economy is affecting your potential investment. So that's one thing that I really appreciate and love about Brokstock. And if you're a beginner investor, and even if you're not a beginner investor and you just really don't want the headache part of investing, Brokstock is really the way to go. Give it a go. So if you'd like to start investing with Brokstock, then in the description box of this video you will find details on how to start with that. Please do click on that link, and you will also receive 50 Rand from me. You receive 50 Rand from me after funding your account. You can fund your account from as little as 200 Rand going up. And also another thing that I want to mention, I also mentioned in my other videos, is that with investments, what I like is that if you find that maybe, for instance, a particular ETF is 300 Rand and you only have 200 Rand or you only have 100 Rand, you can literally also buy that ETF as well, right? So that just means that you will only own then a fraction of that ETF and not the entirety of it, but you will still have access to it. So if that ETF goes up by 50%, you will also gain 50% based on the amount of money that you invested into it. And you will also be eligible to receive dividends. So as I said before, literally everyone can invest, you and me. See you on the flip side of wealth, and I hope that you found this video informative and helpful. Bye. Before I forget, please do hit the subscription button and notification bell to receive notifications from us when we release a new video, and let us grow this family. Road to 1,000 subscribers. Yes. And let me know in the comment section any questions that you might have with relation to this video, or whatever came to mind while you were watching this video, then I will get right to it.